Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's talk. I talk on a diverse range of topics, and I just had to bring this man on because it has been fantastic working with him and his team. As you know, guys, we've been updating our website, and the work that these guys done is absolutely fantastic. And as I was going through that experience, at the end, I said, Muktadir, we should do a podcast on this because so many people, when they start kind of wanting to do a website, they really don't know where to start or what's possible. And when they meet usual suppliers, they're like, what kind of website do you want? How do you want it done? This, that, and the other. And they don't know where to start, right? So they just end up with a
Exactly.
kind of basic thing that doesn't work for them and then they change it. And so I thought we'd deep dive into your knowledge from all of your experience of creating websites and things like this. Um, Show people some of the functionality in ours and sort of debunk some of these myths, but also give people some homework to do if they're going to create their own website, what they need to think about before they get in touch with anybody, and the sort of services that you offer, and why my experience with you, even though I've worked with over 20 years working on
Mm.
websites with people, why my experience with you has worked so brilliantly. So I had to bring you on. Thank you so much for your time here today, Muktadir,
No
and
problem.
welcome to the show.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for having me in the show. So there's a lot of information, the questions that you explained there. So yeah, in terms of I'll give you my background, how I started with my business and my web design business and the marketing business. I've always been a techie guy. I did my degree in computer science from Wolverhampton University. And after that, it was a natural path for me to stay in technology. I've always been fascinated by technology, even at the early days of the internet, when the internet was like when people started doing shopping online, e-commerce, Amazon came up, eBay came up, and then all your social media platform came up. And a website is, the way I see it, is the fundamental of everything, because if you don't have a website, especially in the earlier days, it was a new thing, and a lot of businesses didn't have a website. And it's important to have a website because it's a branding, and especially nowadays, it's important because if you don't have a website, you don't build a trust, because there's so many businesses out there, whether B2B or B2C, and what you do, and you have to have a website. And it's not about just having a nice website, it's about having a website that people could find you in a search engine like Google and Bing. And for that reason, it's very important that you have a website. And my background from, as I said, is technical, and I was fascinated by website. And I've seen earlier there's a lot of people who are doing a website that wasn't optimized for conversion. What I mean by that is, like, you could have a website, anyone could create a website, but having a website that actually functional and looks good and also ranks on website, and that's the holy grail of having a website, really, is a website that looks good and also functional as well.
Brilliant. And I think you've just hit the nail on the head. And I'll just explain a little bit about our journey in that regard. Is one of the first things that we needed to do is what is our branding? Because that hits you on the website. It isn't kind of, a lot of people think, I think, come as, no, I want a page that does this, I want a page that does that, and a page that does this. But unless you've got coherent branding, like what is your font going to look like? What color is it all going to be? It
Exactly.
just looks a mess. And that's where I think people go wrong because they don't think about that right at the beginning. And it's like turning up to a scruffy house.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
is.
matter,
Yeah.
it's got six bedrooms and three kitchens and the things. If it's scruffy and messy and it's got no coherence, it just looks a mess, right?
Absolutely, exactly, and I totally agree with you. It's like building a house. If you don't plan it properly, and it's like you get an architect first. You'll design the rooms and the infrastructure, the foundations there. With the website, if the foundation's not there from day one, uh, later on it just becomes a mess and it's not functional. Things might not work properly. So it's important that when you build any website, you design it first in a way that is, when someone does go to your website, they could navigate to your website and take the action you want them to take. And then that is easier to navigate and it's functional and it's mobile optimized. And a lot of website is not, I'm surprised even till date, I look a lot of website because new. devices are coming out all the time. You got new Apple phone, Android phones, and it has to be optimized for these devices. And as you said, it's all about planning and making sure you got the foundation first.
Brilliant. And mine's pinging in the background because I've got mine and your websites up together to try and
Yeah,
give people some ideas.
yeah,
And I didn't know much about your technical background before, but after our first meeting,
yeah,
I understood you had a technical background.
yeah,
And the thing is you have such excellent kind of project management and customer explaining skills even though you've got the team doing the stuff in the background. And that was so helpful because when we were in the planning stage,
yeah,
you could say, well, you know what, to be honest with you, I wouldn't do it like this. I would do it like this because this is going to happen. And you were able to input that rather than just going, oh, I want this to do this, that, and the other. You were able to say, actually, it's going to be hard doing it like that. You're not going to get as many leads, or it's going to be complicated for the customer journey. Do it like this. And your knowledge shone through in that first hour for me. But also you've not like an IT person who doesn't tend to be very communicative.
yeah,
You were able to explain it, put us
yeah.
at ease, give us examples. And so do you think that kind of your skill sets that run across that kind of customer liaison and making it easy for the layman
Mm.
and being technical, do you think that's kind of like a rare combination?
Yeah, I think my background helps in IT, and the fact that before I started my business, I was working in an IT field, so I understand the technical, and I had to explain to my managers, how the system and processes work. So I developed in a way that the explaining to your normies, as they call it, your average Joe, and also taking the technical aspect and explaining in a plain layman's term that everyone could understand, and also going back to the project and talking to the team and explaining them in a technical term that they understand. And that's, as a business owner, is very important, and it's a skill set luckily I developed because before I started my business I was working at a IT company, and I had to face my managers, end users, and also working with the technical team as well. So I kind of got the hybrid approach, so which helped me because now in my business, uh, I see a lot of technical people. They're amazing at what they do, but it's just they cannot communicate the same what they thinking in the English where the end user could understand without talking too much technical jargon.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And that's the thing that really, clinched it for me, that communication, that support and that help. And the other thing that I found was brilliant really was your website. And I'm just going to show people it now and
Yeah.
explain this is what we did, guys. We went to have a look at the portfolio of companies. I'll just start sharing my screen so you can have a look. And Muktadir said, well, why don't you look at the websites and say, look, I like the functionality of this landing page, but I like, am I on the wrong screen?
Uh,
I'm on the
yeah,
screen.
yeah,
Sorry. I should be on the right one. There we go. There we go.
yeah.
And so we could go through your portfolio, which is very diverse and very impressive. I'm going to reject your cookies. So you've got all the proper stuff, you know how to put all the right licenses and all this kind of stuff and the right wording. So, you're complying to all the regulations. But what we did, we had a look at all these websites. So, for instance, the shoe one is absolutely beautiful. And when you visit this website, I mean, there's a few things on there. Did you see that pop up? Now, that's an important thing if you've got a shop because people yeah, I mean, I don't know about everybody else, right? But I go to a website, stay on for a bit, go off, go on, go off, go on. And it encourages me, like if I get a discount, I go, okay, right, maybe I'll sign up for that. And I will really, real mean to do something, but you get distracted, like you're making a cup of tea or somebody asks you to do something. And when you get that email reminder, you go, actually, I can get 10% off. I'm going to sit down for 15 minutes until I've found what I want to buy. And those kind of add-ons in a shop is really important. And you said straight away, it's important to collect those leads. So we had a look at this website and I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, how did you enjoy putting this one together? I mean, the photographs are beautiful as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. So what that was the client actually helped us because they provided the photo, we edited the photo, and they wanted a design that's quite unique. And to be honest, it still looks amazing now. And this, by the way, we've done the just in 2019, just after when COVID started, because if you look at About Us, it's a family-run business, Stephen and John. One of the things I did tell them as well is have your picture there, because when you buy something from online, unless you're a big brand like Amazon and eBay, it's the trust factor. If they could see your face there, they say, okay, these are real, I'm not going to buy something and it's not going to get delivered or this and that. It's about real stories, storytelling. And one of the key components of marketing is storytelling. People buy from people they like and trust. And by having a story, like if you read their story, it's a family-run business, passed from the grandfather to their father. Now the two who's the two brothers are running the family run business. So, and everybody loves to support local family run business rather than your big boys like your Amazon. And that story resonates with a lot of people, and people will, if they're based in central London, that's where they're based, even anywhere across the UK, they could read the story and say, wait there, these are genuine, authentic, and they've got the review link to it as well, and they've got the picture of the person as well, which they could search on LinkedIn and find the profile, and you could see it all matches up. So you automatically builds that trust. And I told them, look, have about us section with your photo there. It will help you because it builds trust with someone who comes to your website first time.
Fantastic. And those kind of little hints and tips are just marvelous. I just want to show people something that as you're browsing, you won't be aware of maybe as a kind of browsing customer. But these are the little things that Muktadir puts in to make things makes your website engaging, brings it to life. Did you just see how that kind of like popped up when I put it on, when I put my cursor on? This kind of thing. And lots of websites are just like still images, but they get a bit boring, don't they? And a lot of
Yeah.
the images that you guys, the way that you put them together has this life to them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the competition in the online space is very furious, and you have to stand out. Your website has to be clean, modern, and the images and the videos has to be, with the resolution of a different devices. It has to match that. If it's 4K, it has to show the 4K images and everything is also image has to be there as well. And as you said, you don't want to be static. You want to be dynamic website.
Dynamic, that's the word, isn't it? And now this one is an example. This is a very complicated website and really
It is,
shows
yeah,
your
yeah.
expertise. So to talk a little bit about this one, because the functionality in this is like incredible.
Yeah, it is. So they've got online portal system. So they recently, and if you look at it, we've connected. They've got contract with Asda as well. You could see Asda pre-reg portal, and they've got the normal portal registration thing. So they have tons of. This is very complex. It's not hosted on your regular hosting platform. It's hosted on a dedicated because the complexity behind it. You have to register, and they've got online courses and. The one they purchase the different courses, and for the ASDA one only certain people see, so it's eliminating certain courses and students, and it's very complicated how is it developed. It took us quite a long time to develop this properly, and they also do events just a bit like yourself, Joe. They do events and forthcoming events and everything. They do combination of Zoom, and they do combination of face to face. So it's a very complex website that we develop, custom code this website. You might not look that much in the eyes like the other one. The other one is the e-commerce one. This one's more of has to be functional in terms of like making sure that people could register, they log on, and they actually purchase the course and the right course for the right users. And because I think with the optometrists, they've got different level, and we've created that system within the website as well.
Fantastic. And, even just looking at this, guys, a lot of people don't think about putting one of these scrolls on, which we'll show you on our website in a bit, but it's making it engaging because not everybody wants to go and, keep clicking on these buttons up here. This just makes it brings those kind of menus to life. And the other thing about this is like you said, there's so much detail to put on here, but the way that it's presented looks really smooth. And I think that as a user of a website, you don't realize how much work and planning and expertise has to go in making something complicated look easy, right?
Exactly. So sometimes in the back and under the hood is very complex.
Precisely. So the other one, I think, oh yeah, I think we should
This one.
show, yeah,
You've
the
got the idea from the
black,
black magic here. I think you passed
yeah.
this up.
Have
Is
I
if you
got
go,
gone past it?
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
If you go up, 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 there, that's it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. So we took a lot of inspiration from this website. Now, one of the things that we liked is kind of like these wavy lines because of the crystal water experience. So we borrowed a lot there. And we if they've got an affiliate scheme, which we had. They've got plans, which we had. They didn't have courses. So we've got a mixture of like kind of two things going on. And we went for hosting service with you, right? Because I took it.
Yeah,
I've got to listen, guys. And I had it on GoDaddy because it was easier at the time. And the first website I did all by myself with some help from another fantastic lady in the Philippines, but it was very basic. And I'm aware that some of these big hosting platforms have a lot of security holes, right? So I knew I wanted to get it on a dedicated host server, preferably in the UK, and also to be able to manage the content much better because I was finding it was really, really slow. Since we've switched over to your hosting partners, oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's like I go into the back end and it's like loads up straight away. Everything's there straight away. It's just so much faster.
yeah.
But I feel much better knowing where my server is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point that you mentioned there, Joe, is a lot of people when they host, they usually go with the big boys like GoDaddy and 123 Rate. And the problem there is, especially if you're collecting users' data, GDPR, especially which is in Europe and European law, GDPR, you have to comply with as a compliance thing. And if they're hosting your data in somewhere like in US or somewhere in Malaysia or Philippines or Thailand, wherever it might be, or in China or wherever, you breaking GDPR law because you are holding your user data physically in a location that's not within the European Union within the GDPR compliance basically. So it's important that your data center stays within UK and Ireland as well or anywhere within Europe. Uh,
Fantastic. And we wanted to, have that control. We're very aware of kind of data harvesting and things like this. And I just wanted just have a look at this, people. It's like this is one page and I'm scrolling through, but it's dynamic. It's capturing my attention. It's making me stay on here more often because it's not just, boring things. And it just it brings the eye to everything. And just to say, we'll probably be logging in and getting some kind of subscription with these guys because what they've got is it's a completely different business to all the ones we've just seen before. They've got lots of images. And if you want to access those images because you want to use them for your own marketing, etc., this is what this website's all about. It's a very kind of almost like boring, mundane, or kind of difficult thing to present. But I think you can get the flavor of that kind of business just because the website reflects it and the way that it's being put together, right?
Yeah, exactly. And once you sign up and everything, you could see different stock image videos, which, as I said, you could purchase for it's a loyalty-free images and videos. And the whole point of the website is to purchase those and high-quality images to use on your social and your website.
And this is I mean, this is the issue now. A lot of people have seen the censorship and the covert censorship. So people are
Yeah,
like shadow banned. A lot of people go into membership and subscription plans for courses, for their
yeah,
content. This
yeah,
is just one example of that. And you guys have that expertise, which we've plugged into our website
yeah.
to be able to, you've got a certain amount of information shown, but when you plug into the different plans, you get access to more and more of the back end. Again, that's not That's not an easy thing to code, right? It's
No, it's not.
complicated. You have to be able to manage it, and you guys have that expertise.
Exactly. And when it comes to high intensive images and videos, especially when you're hosting them on a website, your hosting provider has to be, website like this cannot be in your standard shared hosting because you need a huge data storage for data because the Blackmagic, they've got I think over 50 gigs of data alone just on the images. So when you
Mm.
host, if you just host with your typical GoDaddy or 123 Radio, any other hosting provider, then your website will be really slow. That's why we host you on a dedicated. So you have to know when to use the right hosting provider for the right website.
Brilliant. And that was very well explained, and it's something that people don't take into account. And that's the point of this interview, right? To get people to
Yeah,
start thinking about what's possible, what sort of things you need to take into account, and all these little details, do really, really matter.
it does.
Otherwise, I've seen so many people like flip from I'm upgrading a website like every 6 months because they don't put this into account because they didn't
Okay.
know they had to until it broke. But the
Exactly.
great thing working with you and your team is you can see all this stuff come in. So maybe what we'll do is take them to our new website now and show them
Yeah.
see what we've done. So guys, you can probably can see use this wavy pattern, but we wanted this to be a bit slimmer. We wanted this to be a bit smaller. Um, and in the end, so hang on a minute. Sorry, I was just testing something out on here. We have that pop up there as well because some people don't know that what to do and they just want to contact us. So we've taken our main menu items. You can find them on here, right? But we've kind of created an image because a lot of people are image, they don't want to read stuff. They want to kind of float through. So this scrolls through and you can see like the different images and the different courses, but they're actually at the menu at the top. Then when we go down, you might have noticed this in the other website down there. Instead of these things coming in, look, it's dynamic. It's bringing stuff in, bringing the website alive. So it isn't. So this is the same kind of information, but presented differently. And the other important thing, testimonial straight away, before anybody's going to start deep diving into your website, one of the things I want to know who you are. And this is absolutely brilliant. A really important thing that, like you said, our story can be right there on the page before someone deep dives. But the actual bones of it is dynamic at the beginning. It's inviting, and people might know where to start, or they might not. They might know they want to go to the shop, but they don't know yet. And this is a way of bringing people in and making it interesting to look at, right?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And is that saying the first impression counts? So you want to give when someone lands on your website, the landing page on your homepage, you want to give that wow impression. Wow, that looks interesting. Wow, that looks amazing. Oh, what else do? And it's a visual, and it is to the point, and you could see everything laid out very clear, sharp plan, affiliate events, your testimonials and the videos and the membership tab. So you could see it's clean and it's goes with the branding as well.
Great. And so just to let everybody know, what we did is because we've been using Canva for many years, we created a lot of these images. So we went to the team and said, okay, what size do they need? So we created the canvas size because that's important. This is the other thing that happens on websites when you try and do them yourself. You try and import an image of the wrong size, it kind of squashes it into place and it looks weird. So because we've got this open dialogue with your team, I said, right, you need to create one that's this many pixels by this many pixels, and we put them together. And they gave us some guidance. So this is an interactive button here. So they said, don't put anything here because we're going to put a button. And this two-way communication was really good and really clear. So then we've got, so ours is relatively complicated. Now we've only just started, right, but already it's got some complexity and it's probably going to grow in terms of the stuff we put on there.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
important thing for us is like the affiliate membership. So we have affiliates who love our products basically. It says, how can I help you? And we say, well, promote our stuff, put a link on your website, and in return, you get a bit of a commission on anything that you sell as a thank you. It's an energy exchange. That's how we see these kind of things. And that plugin had to be backwards. I haven't logged in as a an affiliate here, so I can't show people what it's like as a portal. But because we used a good plugin, plus we used your team to be able to describe, to be able to fit this nicely from an affiliate point of view, they see the dashboard and everything that what kind of links they've had, what people have bought. There's even automatic payouts, things like this. But it's just hidden away here. So if you're not an affiliate, it's up here, right? It's not in the way. But if
Yeah.
you're an affiliate, you'd see a whole new section of the website, like you're saying in the background. Are you seeing kind of affiliate schemes and things like that more common now?
Yeah, it is. I mean, especially in the e-commerce space, it's very common because pe people know, like, the saying goes, "What's in it for me?" So if someone wants to promote your product, what's in it for them? So by giving them that extra, value, the monetization value, like say 10%, 5%, it encourages someone to promote your product. So it's a win-win situation. You know what I mean? It's like saying, "I scratch your back, you scratch mine," as the saying goes. So, but yeah, affiliate is very important, especially whatever industry and sector you're in. There's always going to be competition, and if you could use affiliate to go ahead of your competitors, it's amazing. You know what I mean? Why not give somebody that 5%, 10%, 50, how much ever you're going to give them, and they will just be your salesperson. They'll promote your product on their website.
Energy exchange, beautiful. And
Mhm.
then the other thing that we've got that we've just put into place is we've taken the Black Magic Vault kind of idea to be able to promote courses and our memberships, but it's kind of slightly it's tailored to us. So this is kind of a new thing for you guys to produce as well in
Yeah,
our
exactly.
in our way. Let me just turn this one down. Okay. So it took us quite a while to figure out how to do this because we didn't kind of, and we looked at many other people's websites, by the
Yeah,
way, and other big teachers, and we were like, there's not one.
yeah,
And actually, we showed you a big one, didn't you? And you were like,
yeah, yeah,
that's all right. But you know what? They've really missed a trick on here. That's really messy. Joe,
yeah,
we can do it better, right? You
yeah,
remember saying that? And this is
yeah,
like
yeah,
and guys,
yeah.
this is like a big player, and Muktadir is like, we can do better than that. And so, the way that we've sort of set it out is we created, me and Kelly, this kind of video as an introduction because people are like, what am I signing up for? And from the spiritual community and the courses community and membership community, I've seen so many of these. It's like, sign our memberships, we'll give you, and it's all so woolly. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really know what I'm getting. There's no depth. I don't know what I'm signing up for, so I'm not doing it. So we just said, right, we need an introduction video, which is there, but then a description of the different plans, just to give you an idea. But then when you click on the plans, what you really want to do is dive in and find, okay, what is it that I'm getting in this plan? So we had a kind of an information video which kind of deep dives more into what that is. And then we decided to explain as well that there's level two coming up. So we're really trying to create this to try to create a flow of information. But the idea is to get people's information first, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because to get people to sign up because you then it's complicated. No one's going to sit there
yeah,
and
yeah.
read every line.
Uh,
Start here. Here's a bit of information. Once you've got that, do you want to progress to this stage? Once you've got that, do you want to progress to this stage? So you're not
Exactly.
overwhelming them.
Exactly. And then another thing, if you scroll down a bit, Joe, I just want
Yeah.
to highlight something. That 7-minute video, do you remember I said instead of putting that, I think that's a free course on which they need to register first to watch the 40-minute video. But I said to Joe, look, why don't you put like a 7-minute, like a trailer type of thing? So give them the taster. So, because sometimes even when they watch the summary one, they might, okay, I don't want to really want to, if it's free, I don't know what if it's gonna be good or not. So by doing a highlight or trailer there, okay, that looks interesting. Let me register. It's free. Let me watch it, and then you just take them through the rabbit hole, basically from one video to another. So once they watch the free video, the 40 minutes one, then they'll be hooked, and then they're more likely to purchase the paid one and extend the knowledge.
Exactly. And that's something that you brought up because you really were the one that you explained to us how to take people on this customer journey.
Yeah,
So, which is brilliant because so often this is why I've got no memberships with anybody because I'm like I don't know what I'm getting honestly, and so I
yeah,
can't remember. And then I don't want to be bombarded with emails.
yeah,
The other thing that I asked you to do for events, which is brilliant, is there's two things we do. There's workshops that we get people on, and but there are also places that we go and do talks. And I said, it's confusing for people. Can we have them on separate? Because that's how I did it before. It's all muddled up together. And what I love about this is like, let's say you go to kind of our live workshops. This is kind of our information. Um, People can then find our events, right? And they can buy tickets and they can find out all it is. We put all this information. They've got the details about where it is. You can put images, you can put videos. But these ones where they can buy, tickets for the events, which all go to on a website. But let's say it's up and coming appearances. Let's see what we've got coming up. Weekend Truth Festival is coming up. So all the details there. So we're promoting our friends that have been kind enough to allow us to speak. Everything's here. There's the map, there's the details if you go in there. But when I go to tickets, it's going to take them, it's going to open a new page and it's going to go to their website. So this is how we can collaborate with our friends that have supported us. So we've got those two types of events. I think that's true of a lot of people. The other great thing you did, and something that we're going to be adding to, is testimonials, because we've got hundreds and hundreds of testimonials. We've got a few on here. And one of the things we are figuring out at the moment is how to use Trustpilot, which is expensive, guys, by the way. It's really expensive per month doing Trustpilot. So in the meantime, we've got this fantastic, and look how this works. They all come in like this, making it interesting. And if it's on your mobile phone, it's coming in all lovely. And so people can see it in the meantime. Um, so we've got those two systems going. And the other brilliant thing you did for us, which I just want to
yeah.
show people this, because when people see our website, our videos last time, they were all in this long scroll.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And you've tidied them up beautifully. So these are all YouTube links, but you can find them by topic now. So we can go like guest appearances, or we can go this one, which is about wellness and detoxing, quantum frequency trace, these ones. So this is so much neater and it doesn't take as long to load up because that's the other thing you told us, right? About
Yeah,
loading
yeah.
stuff up.
Exactly, yeah. So you want to make it like headless. It's called headless, where it loads up quick and very fast, and especially on a mobile device. And remember, Joe, a lot of people are going to view your website on a 3G or even 4G. Sometimes people might live near the countryside where the signal is not brilliant. So you don't want to. Your website to take ages for it to load up, and that gives even search engine like Google and Bing a bad signal that your website is slow. So the speed wise is a must. It must be loading up in every single devices, and that's something we prioritize all the time when you do websites. Is make sure it's a mobile optimized and speed wise, and loading speed is fast as well.
So you just said something there, and you've just reminded me of something you said in the past, which is if your website's slow to load up, it affects your rankings,
Ranking,
right?
it does, yes, yes. Think about it. Google are there to make a business and make money, like me and you. So when someone goes to this a referral system, Google is. So if someone goes to Google and looks for pairs of shoes, and then Google, you've got three or four companies that are competing for the first position or second position of Google. You usually get the big boys at the top, like Amazon. But yeah, say you wanna come below Amazon, what Google does is it looks at different factors. One is mobile optimization, loading speed, and there's other stuff a bit technical that they look at, and they give you overall score. If your low speed is slow and your competitors are fast, they'll only show you competitors ahead of you because they don't want to show something and someone goes to the website and have a bad experience. So they know if a user has a bad experience, next time they're not going to use Google. They're going to think, wait, the Google's not the right search engine, is taking too long, and they give the wrong result. I'll go with Bing. So they will lose market share. So for them, it's a business. So they will always going to promote a website when somebody is looking for that's relevant to the search, and that's loads of faster and mobile optimized. And that's why it's important that you have a website that does
And
all this.
And guys, this is the kind of knowledge that is just you just don't get anywhere else. So it's just absolutely fantastic. So appreciate that. And then there's the shop, and the shop we use WooCommerce in the background because we had our products on there, and I understood how to use WooCommerce. That's the main reason why we went with it again. I found it very reliable actually, and the plugin's really good.
Yeah,
So we went with WooCommerce. But one of the things I wanted in this drop-down menu. This is a little bit slow, guys, because we're on Zoom. Zoom affects the speed,
he
right?
does, he
We've had
does.
this,
Yeah,
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 we've had this show before. But I also want, but there's a few things that I wanted, which you guys have done a brilliant job of. Is like I wanted these menus to be here just in case people wanted to go, or they could click the shops and then we get the categories up. But then, as you can see here, we've got kind of like this simple menu. We've got all the products on here. It looks really clean. We've got our best sellers here. But if I wanted to go and say in the EMF rather than the jewelry, then they're all lined up in the categories which I've organized in the back. I would encourage you guys to have a look, whichever shop you choose, really try and understand what you need to put in as a product. And if you don't know how to use Canva, Muktadir was very kind to introduce us to a lady that does know how to create images and things. So if
yeah,
you don't know it yourself, you need to find somebody to help you create this. But fortunately, I think we know it, know enough to be able to do it.
yeah,
But making these clean and easy, we had a big discussion about what, because using WooCommerce, you can have all sorts of details placed on
mm,
here, right?
yeah,
And we chose, right, what do we want to do? Stock levels? Do we want to do this? Because in some websites, that's going to be important. It isn't
yeah,
important to ours. So this is nice and clean. On their mobile, it just looks beautiful. It's seamless.
yeah,
And you can then choose, and we had a bit of a discussion, didn't we, about how to present this.
yeah.
We wanted to have quite a few images, but we didn't want it to look messy, and we wanted loads of information at the same time. So the way that you guys have organized this, I think is absolutely beautiful. I don't think people understand how much work goes into simplifying the appearance of a
Yeah.
website, right?
Exactly. It looks when it's an end result, it looks good, but doing it's not easy because you have to organize in a way that it looks good in all devices as well, not just on a laptop or a desktop or on mobile devices.
It is. And by the way, what we've got images on here. On a mobile phone, this shop and each product looks amazing. In fact, the whole website does. And you were telling us how important this was at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I just stopped sharing the screen just for a minute. And it wasn't until we've put it all together that I can
Mm,
so see what you mean, just how fast it is.
yeah.
But on the actual mobile phone, it just looks beautiful.
It does.
And websites are, even if it's your friends and your family, right, they look at it and they go, oh, it's a website. We've had so many people go, really like your website. It looks
Mm,
professional. You
yeah.
guys look like you know what you're doing.
Mm,
And that is massive thanks to you, Muktadir, and your
no
team. And
problem.
you've been so responsive and so helpful. And I just want to thank you so much.
No problem. I always say to myself when I started this business, if someone came to me with a problem, how am I gonna? If that was my business, how am I gonna deal with it? I'm gonna deal the same as my client's business. So always, when you do anything, whatever business, you have to treat your clients like as this is your own business. If you do that, then every single client they will think you have to look after your clients. There's a saying: if you don't look after your clients, someone else would. Do you know what I mean? And I always took the philosophy that you have to know. I always see it when someone comes to me with a problem, and I'm a solution person. I'll try to find a solution for them. If that was my business, what would I do and how would I do it? And that's what I try to resonate with my clients. Say, look, this is if that was my website, and if I were to do it, I'll do it this way because this is the way. I always think from the client's point of view. You know what I mean? You don't need a fancy, you don't need your website to be so complex that people get confused. It's all about simplicity and it's all about people going there and be able to find what they want. And if you could give that to the your clients, then that's it. You've done your job because if they could find what they want and you could take them to a journey and upsell to other stuff that they might not know they need, but once you show them, they might, oh, I might need that as well. and that's why you want to have a website where it's functional. It takes them to the journey, and it's easy, simple to use, and fast. And it's mobile optimized, and it's
Yeah.
important. And nowadays also what we're trying to do is including AI within your website and your marketing, which is very
Oh,
important.
yes.
Yeah, so we also install something called the AI agent on there, which
That's right. Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just trying to find it to show people. Hang on a
yeah,
minute. So you carry on talking about that a sec,
yeah, sure.
because I might have accidentally turned it off if I can. Was it
If
there?
you
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
sure,
right.
yeah.
Let me just quickly show this on the screen, guys. So you recommended this, and just explain how it works and how we have to put the information on the website, because this is really interesting.
Yeah, so what he does is it's an AI chat bot. What he does is when you go to someone's website, I mean that could be any business, or whether it's a e-commerce, whether it's a service type of business. Imagine someone comes to your website at 8 p.m. Tonight, or even 11 p.m. You don't want people to give you a call and or fill in a lead form. What this does is a lot of the time people want to find information. Maybe they've seen your plan, they watch your the trailer video, but they've got a question. They're not quite there to buy your product or your service, but they have few questions. And it's 8 p.m. at 8 p.m. tonight or 11 p.m. No one's going to give you a call, and people want to answer then with social media, people want to get the answer then. So with a chat agent, what you could do is you could answer this question that you have related to the website and the product and the services. But what you need to do first is put your details in
Yeah.
before you could talk to the agent. So now you put the detail, and that detail will go to your email address or your CRM system. Now you could answer any question to the chat that's related to your website, to your services, like the way you type in. And then what it does is it indexes all the details from the back end and gets the answers. It thinks about it, it's thinking, it's getting all the answers, and it just gives you the answers on the front end. Just is thinking about it and getting the answers. Something could be a bit slow. And what he does is he
We're on
saves the
Zoom,
customer.
it's going to be a bit slower, so you
Yeah,
carry on chatting.
yeah, so what he does is the customer support and everything. You could see like what they're typing, what kind of question they have, and all this detail and the chat history will get emailed to you. So next day when you wake up, if someone comes to your website, say midnight tonight, you don't need to answer to them. Next day you could wake up, you've got the details. Could be Joe blog that came to your website. You could see Joe blog's information, their telephone number, and exactly what they're after. And then you could, if they're after, say, a certain product, the EMF product, and there was some question, you could phone them up and answer the question. And maybe that's the question they need to be sold on the product, and they could then go on your website and buy. It's sometimes, a website is amazing, but sometimes they need a human touch to get the final push. And this is with the AI system, it does that.
Yeah, because a lot of questions, we do end up repeating ourselves quite a lot. And
Yeah,
there's always the frequently asked question pages,
yeah,
which I personally hate kind of scrolling
yeah,
through them. So our plan is we're going to write lots of blogs about frequently asked questions, basically. People ask
yeah,
us, can we put the stickers in the bath? Can I put them on the shower head? All this kind of stuff. Brilliant questions. But at the moment, me and Kelly are doing it one to one to one to one, which is stopping us doing all the work that we need to do.
yeah,
So we're going to make blog posts about them. But people won't go to the blog posts or click frequently asked questions if they're
yeah,
like me, because they won't
yeah.
do it. So, but they'll go to the chat function, and the chat function will go to my blog post because I've written it, and it'll
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
oh, that's what they're on
Exactly.
about. And this is
Exactly.
what AA should be, right? It shouldn't
Yeah,
be
yeah,
taking jobs away from us.
yeah.
They should be our little assistants, our little helpers,
Exactly, yeah.
right?
Exactly. And as you know, the AI is about feeding data. The more data you feed to the AI, the intelligent he gets, the more smarter he gets. It's all about text to, the data you feed it. You have to feed the right data for you to, and answer the right questions. But if you do that, that'll be amazing. Talking about the blog post and everything, when you do the SEO with us, part of that is us we generating the blog post and this, get you to proofread it, and then so if you're busy with that, when you do the SEO part, we'll take care of that part as well for you.
That's great. And I was just going back to mention the next stage in our journey. We're polishing a few things off here because there's an integrated marketing software that we're doing because me and Kelly are not going to be able to be keep tied down to our computer, replying back to emails and doing all this all the time, right? So we're going to do like a marketing kind of plugin, which is going to help us deal with I mean, you can see some of it is in already, right? So I bought a product, thank you. This is your order, this is your tracking number, all that kind of stuff, right? But then it's like, please, can you send us a review? Because at the moment, me and Kelly are personally emailing everybody, can you send us a review, right? But you can automate some of this stuff. You can also
Yes.
go, I know you bought this, but have you been on our course? So we've got about 1,000 people subscribed from our old website. We've got about a similar number of customers. There's going to be some crossover, but they're not all. And we've said everyone said when the course is ready, can you tell us? So
Mm.
me and Kelly would have to like email everyone separately. So these kind of smart marketing tools can cut down on a lot on our time. So we're relying on your
Absolutely.
expertise, and that's our phase two.
Yeah.
And then we're going to do search engine optimization because you did right at the beginning a little lesson with me about Google. Because before we came, we had zero referrals from
Yeah,
Google
yeah,
or any search engine,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you said, right, we've got to change that by the end of the year because we are
yeah,
literally slogging our guts out to get
yeah, yeah,
sales and that no one can see us.
yeah,
And so,
exactly.
why don't you talk a little bit about search engine optimization and what sort of services you offer there?
Exactly. So when it comes to, whether it's if you're service based or e-commerce selling physical product, or if your service is like selling courses, it's important that if you want to grow your business, you need more customers. Everyone knows that they need more clients and more customers. How do you get that? There's two ways doing it, especially if you're a digital, your services are all online and everything. And if you're doing any courses, I mean events, and that's your existing clients. But how do you get new clients through the door? Is through either paid ads, which could be very expensive, or through organically ranking your website. And you've seen, you heard of SEO, you even on social media. Social media is very difficult now because they want you to pay to get more and more traffic to your social media and your website. But within the website, it's easier to, not easier, I wouldn't say the word easier, but it's something you must do to get ranked, especially in the market that you guys are, which is a niche market. Not everyone's doing. It's not like someone's apparel where you're selling men's shirt or women's clothing where there's tons of competition. But you guys are niche market where not you got competition, but not as like other sectors, if that makes sense, like solicitors or law
Yeah, yeah.
firm or something like that. So you want to rank at the top. Do you know what I mean? Over time in Google, and that's how you get new people finding you guys, new people coming to your website, and hence becoming your new clients. And to do that, you have to either say either paid or organic. I think everybody should do the organic. The problem with paid is you could do that maybe later on as you grow your scale your business. The organic is once you get ranked in say first or second position of Google, and you stop SEO for say month, few months. It doesn't go away still. It's like I'll give you an example. I think that people understand this. If you go to the gym and you try to build muscle or tone your body or maybe lose weight, if you do it naturally and the right way, even if you build muscle, you don't that muscle doesn't disappear. But if you do it a cheat way, I don't want to name it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, as soon as you stop taking those any pills and injecting yourself, you lose that because the same with that's the analogy between paid and organic. Paid is amazing as long as you paying this platform. Soon as you stop paying them,
gone.
it's gone to zero. Whereas if you build your website and the SEO wise and getting traffic organically on your website over time, it doesn't matter after 2 years if you got 1,000 users, and if you completely went on a holiday for 2 years, come back, you're still gonna have the 1,000 users. You're not gonna get more, obvious, because you're not working anymore, but you're not gonna lose that, and that's why organic is very important.
Very, very good analogy. And as a personal trainer myself, I can
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah, yeah,
especially understand that
yeah.
analogy.
Yeah. I think you got cut off. I can't hear you, Joe. No, no. Yeah, I could hear you now. I could hear you now.
Gone.
Oh, yeah, yeah, I could hear. Oh, you're gone again. You're gone again. Yeah, you've gone again.
Is that
Yeah,
better?
yeah, 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 back.
Okay. So
Yeah.
maybe I've run out of battery. If
Okay.
I've got battery.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
could hear you now. I could hear you now. Yeah, yeah, I could hear.
Okay, I got onto the other one. Sounds a little bit like I'm in bath, but fortunately, we're coming to the end of this. And before we go, what is there any other advice, or how would you like people to approach you? I mean, the details will be in the description of this video.
Yeah, yeah.
About
Yeah.
you, but
So I would say if you're struggling with getting more clients for your business, that's something that could help you. Whether you're a B2B or you're B2C business, service based, or if you're selling physical product, you should be. We need to move with time. A lot of businesses are still like doing business in the old way, which is good, but you got to move with time. Where you have to be online. That's where the global market is. That's where your target audience is. So if leveraging online your services online, and part of that is having an amazing website that's functional, getting the traffic so you get more sales. So if you're struggling with getting more sales, or if you got a website that might be just there but it's not making you any bringing you any leads or sales, then come and talk to us. We could definitely do a free audit and have a initial discovery call and find out what the issue is. Maybe you don't need a website right now. Maybe it's something else that's stopping you. Maybe you got amazing website, but your marketing is not on point. So we could even look at that. So anything to do with like your business that's you're struggling with, either getting more clients, because a website is amazing, but if it's not functional, it's not going to make you money. There's no point having a website if no one could see you. So that's another thing as well. So if you're struggling with your business, if you're struggling to get more leads, and which a lot of businesses are, then come and talk to us. We could have an initial discovery call. It's not sales page. I could have a one-to-one. Maybe we're not fit for each other, but at least I could give you free advice and say, look, if you do this, if you're gonna do your own by yourself, you can't do. But if you're in our service, we are here to help as well.
and I would honestly highly recommend that. I've never done this before. I've never interviewed a website kind of provider because it's
Mm.
always been a very bumpy journey. But I hope even today people have learned a lot about what you need to think about building a website. There's lots of brilliant information in this video, and that's why I wanted to share it to kind of debunk some of this stuff and try and give some people high level information so that they can go and work out what they want to do. So a
Absolutely.
massive thank you to you, Muktadir. Our
No
journey is
problem.
not over. We are just beginning. I love what you just said. You just reminded me we're a niche business right now. So we are pioneers and we need to be top of that board because as this grows, as people's awareness grows as to, crystals, water, EMF, we're going to be the new kind of Google in our area. And that's thanks
Exactly.
to you and your foresight and all of your
Thank you.
help. So a massive
Thank you.
thank you to you and your team.
No problem. Thank you to you guys as well. And sometimes it's a two-way thing. It's not always, as much as you praise us, we have to praise you as well because you guys made there's sometimes you are saying something and I asked you, can you do a video for me? And that helped because I'm sometimes the messenger with my team as well. And you guys been so, patient in terms of like sending those videos and being with us whilst we're fixing some of the issues because as you know, the website is a journey. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. You're gonna go ups and down, but we got there at the end, and we're just gonna continue and grow your platform into something amazing, and that in the future you could be leader within your industry, hopefully.
Thank you very much. We see that too. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed that kind of different but very informative video. And, information in the comments. Join me for more interesting chats about our journey. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, guys.